Hey everyone, and welcome to our brand new series on statistical learning. If you've ever found yourself staring at just a mountain of data, wondering, how do I make any sense of this? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to learn how to pull real valuable stories out of that data. Let's dive in. Let's face it, we are living smack dab in the middle of the data age. Information is coming at us from everywhere all the time. It's kind of like trying to hear one person's whisper in a roaring stadium. So the real challenge today isn't just about getting data anymore, it's about learning how to actually listen to it.
And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? How do we take these massive, messy piles of information and turn them into smart, confident decisions? This isn't just a skill for data scientists anymore. This is becoming absolutely essential for everyone. And I really do mean everyone. It doesn't matter what field you're in. Finance, trying to predict the markets, healthcare, sifting through gene data, or tech, building the world around us. Everybody is dealing with this data explosion. Making sense of it all, that's the skill that's going to define the next decade. So, what's the secret? How do we tame this data beast? Well, the answer lies in a really powerful field called statistical learning. You can think of it as the special key that unlocks all the patterns and secrets that are hiding deep inside the data. So, what is statistical learning, really? At its heart, it's a toolkit. It's where old-school, proven statistics meets the incredible speed and power of modern computer science. And the whole goal is to build these things called models that can learn from data to spot trends and, get this, even predict what's going to happen next.
And trust me, this is not just some abstract theory. This is happening right now, all around us. It's the engine behind predicting stock trends, the tool that helps doctors find diseases in our genes, the magic that helps companies figure out who to market to, and even the method we can use to make sure people are being paid fairly. It's everywhere. Okay, so to navigate a big, exciting world like this, you need a good map, right? Well, for our journey, we are going to be using one of the best guides out there, a book that's pretty much become the go-to resource in this field. It's called An Introduction to Statistical Learning, but pretty much everyone in the know just calls it ISLR. This is going to be our home base because it's famous for taking these really complex, powerful ideas and making them understandable for just about anybody. And what's really cool is the story behind it. The authors first wrote this super advanced, incredibly math-heavy book, but then they created ISLR with a very clear mission, which this quote nails perfectly. They wanted to create a more accessible companion designed to demystify key methods. They wanted to open the doors for everyone. And that leads to a totally different way of learning. On one hand, you have the traditional textbooks that are just bogged down in heavy math theory. But ISLR, on the other hand, is all about building your intuition first. It's packed with hands-on labs and practical examples, so you don't just learn what something is, you learn how to actually use it. And speaking of using it, enough talk, right? Let's get our hands dirty. Let's take our very first practical step and see what this all looks like in the real world, in action. To do this, we're going to use a classic dataset that actually comes with the ISLR book. It's called the wage dataset. It's got information about a bunch of guys from the Mid-Atlantic region, and our mission, should we choose to accept it, is simple. Can we find any patterns in how much they get paid? All right, let's look at some actual code running in a language called R. First line there, we load the ISLR package. Just think of that as opening up the specific toolkit we need. Second line, we grab the wage data itself. And then on the third line, we use the head tap command to just take a little peek at the first few rows. That's it, we're in. And this is what we see. Each row is a different person. And the columns tell us stuff about them, right? Their age, marital status, education level, all that good stuff. Our job, using statistical learning, is to figure out how these things on the left connect to that final column on the right, their wage. Okay, now for the fun part. The first rule of data analysis is you always have to look at your data. So with one simple command, we're going to make a plot. We'll put age along the bottom and wage up the side, and just see if any kind of pattern jumps out at us. And whoa, check that out. Right away, we see something really interesting. It's not a straight line, is it? It looks like wages go up as people get older, but then they seem to hit a peak somewhere in middle age, and then they actually start to dip down a bit. That's what we call a non-linear relationship. So if it's not a straight line, what do we do? Well, in statistical learning, you always start simple.
So just to see what happens, let's try to fit a basic straight line to it anyway. This command here basically tells the computer, hey, find the one single straight line that does the best possible job of predicting wage using only age.
And here's our first result. We get this number called r squared, and it's tiny, about 0.05. Now, this basically means that age, all by itself, only explains about 5% of what's going on with someone's wage. But wait, this is not a failure. This is a discovery. It proves that a simple model isn't good enough, and it tells us exactly what to do next. We need more information, like maybe their education level, to build a better model. And that little exercise, that is the absolute heart of statistical learning. You ask a question, you look at the data, you build a simple model, you see what it tells you, and then you use that knowledge to build a smarter one. That's the entire game. And it's just the start of the journey we're going to take together. So here's our roadmap. We're going to start by mastering that linear regression tool we just played with. Then we'll get into something called classification, which is for predicting categories like, will a stock go up or down? We'll learn how to tell if our models are any good, explore some really cool advanced methods, and finally, we'll dive into unsupervised learning, which is all about finding patterns you didn't even know you were looking for.
My promise to you is that every single explainer in this series is going to focus on turning these big ideas into practical, hands-on skills, the kind of stuff you can actually go out and use tomorrow. So, the only question left is, are you ready? Are you ready to stop just being a consumer of data and start becoming a creator of insight? If the answer is yes, then I can't wait to see you in the next one.